Companies are spending millions to find out what makes millennials tick. What do they like? What drives them? You name it. Employers need that information to recruit and hire this generation that will make up a majority of the workforce by 2020. Some of the things on their mind? Fulfillment, flexibility, fast progression. And they're always on the lookout for something new. The opportunity to work abroad in places like London is now seen by many companies as a great way to attract and retain this new generation of worker. A new PwC study shows that 2/3 of the world's millennials feel the need to gain international experience to further their careers.
Exposure and opportunities to try different things and learn different things. So whether that's specific assignments, whether that's locally in their office or their region or the country that they're in, or offering global assignments. They're definitely, I end up coaching more and more people on trying to figure out how do I get that exposure and experience and build my credibility so that when there is an opportunity that comes up that I'm going to be considered for it.
Executive coach and consultant Nina Newberry says the millennials' desire for mobility comes in part from the easy access they've had to the rest of the world.
The more exposure you get to something different, and if you've traveled a lot as well, it's amazing, how much you pick up and learn about other cultures. We're working in a much more global environment.
In 2010, Lauren and Tyler Knight decided to take advantage of their global connections and moved to London to work and continue their education.
It's been a whole process where we've more or less been settling in over the last 4 or 5 years here in the UK, where it started off with just studying and then just studying and having a job and then having multiple jobs. And so the whole process has really been us setting up our lives here in the UK.
Lauren and Tyler are the directors of the Harding University London campus, where they work with some of the youngest members of the millennial generation whose interest in living abroad is just now being sparked by their time here.
This is definitely a big networking process, and we're getting to learn about different people and meet different people and just make those connections that I feel like will definitely come in handy later in life, like Lauren and Tyler, and just knowing people that live here and that can help us if we choose to come back.
I've always sort of planned on just traveling around the world and living in as many places as possible. And I want to be a writer one day, so I figured, hey, that's a very mobile job. I can live wherever for that.
It definitely teaches you how to interact with other people from different parts of the world and to be able to work with them and understand their culture a little bit better.
Lauren studied in both London and Italy during her undergrad at Harding. When she and Tyler decided to move overseas, she reached out to the school.
Just told him, hey, I've got a lot of contacts. If you'd want to meet anybody, I'd be happy to introduce you to some of the buyers for the students to meet while they're studying for the business program. And as luck would have it, the current director had resigned, and they were looking for someone to fill in the interim. So I started on-site facilitator or something, and as we did a few successful semesters, it turned into full-time director of the program.
Along with his work at the London campus, Tyler has started his own company called Extra Mile.
We are more or less credit card points for healthy activities.
Tyler makes it work because of his ability to stay connected through technology.
My development teams in India, my business pursuits are mostly in the US, but I almost never leave London. So technology we live in a time where really this is the first wave of being able to maintain a lifestyle in one place where you're actually not necessarily conducting business.
The Knights say they realize that their career paths look much different than those of their parents.
Our parents, or people their age maybe, got on a path, really enjoyed it, and tried to move up within that company. Whereas we're kind of like, yeah, we take lesser pay as long as we get more time to do what we want.
I think you see a lot of us jumping from job to job to job because we think at some point we're going to figure it out. Right. And then at some point, we realize we can't figure it out, but we've gained all these skills along the way, and it's really enabled us to do a lot of different things.
Differences between millennials and older generations don't necessarily mean success or failure, only the start of something new. Caitlin Burke, CBN News, London.